so happy we alive.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Qualify?
I wish I were
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the North Long Beach Community Action Group, where action is our middle name. Community Action Group. Well, it's been a pretty exciting week. News that I have received recently is, and that Val, you may have an update, so you have to pay attention. We know that, I don't know if you're aware of it, the History Project, it was a difficult project. It had a little bit to do with redevelopment, taking a look at, well, maybe it had a lot to do with redevelopment.
To get them more involved. First of all, being part of a group is difficult for them, you know, especially, I mean, if they walked in here today, they would feel outranked, which is unfortunate. There's the language barrier, and then there's the fact that we're in the police station. So how could we, what would we have to do? I mean, it's very important that we do draw from our neighborhoods, from all of our neighborhoods. What would your recommendation be?
I would like to say no language barrier. I guess the lack of information, you know, they don't really know about these community meetings maybe, and if we could, you know, are those flyers in Spanish, you know, or just in English?
They're just in English. If do you speak Spanish? Can you help me put them together in
Yeah,
Spanish?
I mean, that could be a good way to reach out to them. Maybe, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to want to come, you know, but if you can give it a try, see if they would want to come and see what's going on in their community.
Any help that we can get from you or any other leader that you may find in those neighborhoods, you can put them in touch with either Lori or with our office. I mean, that's what it's about, is breaking down the barriers. So that would be appreciated for sure. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
All right.
I love doing my job.
That's great. You know, all the police officers that come by here say the same thing. And that's really nice to hear. Is there any other questions for the officer?
Yeah. I want to ask, are there...
The incident, and I'm sure many of you read about it in the paper, that happened down in the 6th District, where there was a midnight basketball coach that was trying to assist a young man that was being beaten up on by a gang. They then turned on this man and beat him pretty bad. That kind of behavior, even though we know that, you know, crime overall is down, that kind of behavior says that the gangs are becoming much more blatant and much more, you know, in your face. How do you see, have you been up here for a long time in the North Division?
About a year.
Okay, so have you seen that kind of behavior escalating up north?
I haven't really seen it escalate. I don't think it's been escalating. I just thought about Hutton Park too. Sometimes, you know, kids there at the skate park. Once in a while we catch them smoking weed and stuff. But yeah, the problem with the gangs, at least during the day, I don't see it very often. Maybe in the afternoons it might be a bigger problem. You might want to ask them.
So all in all, it's a fairly nice beat then.
Yeah, I think all of them are probably just.
Hey, Captain Bixby, one of those Sue Jacks.
Okay. I know that we have a couple of new faces here. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
I'm a new face. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Diane Martinez, and I am the Vice Mayor of the City of Paramount, your neighboring city. And I'm just visiting, hello, how are you? I'm just visiting various organizations to educate myself and familiarize myself with North Long Beach. Thank you.
She's a very good friend of mine. She's a very nice lady, and she's running for the state assembly for this area and this district. If you're considering about voting, I'm not saying anybody.
They do have subscriptions for $45 a year, which I have purchased for my mother-in-law because on Carson, with all the apartments, they don't deliver them, and she's in a townhome, and so she doesn't get it. But that's any way that you can think of to give assistance to a small town newspaper. If you're a small business owner and you advertise, pass the word on that, because that's what keeps her afloat.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, I hadn't even thought about getting a subscription, I just like getting it free, but if it, you know, if I can get it delivered, that would be wonderful. Okay, any other new faces? I haven't seen you around too many times.
I've been in before, thank you. My name's Anna Kimura. Lived here in North Long Beach for 30 years.
Great.
Pop out in and see what's going on.
Wonderful. Okay, Chuck Fowler. Fowler.
Fowler on Long Beach Boulevard in that area. Might be parking, might be rehab for new use, a number of things like that. And then if you haven't noticed, when you come into town off the 710 and look down the river on Delamo, you'll notice it's done. There is a new wilderness estuary down there. They haven't quite unwrapped everything yet. They have some bike parking, they have some horse rails, they have a couple of seating areas, and as you look down, there's standing water down there with reeds in it and a lot of greenery, and it's going to be growing over the next few years into quite a really cool wildlife habitat. And it's actually part of Riverlink, but it's part of the DeForest wetland and the Delamo wetlands that eventually, probably within the next year or so, are going to link. And it is really neat. You just kind of slow down and look over the edge or pull over and go out there. It's very, very cool. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention, since I'm the Finance Committee Chair of North Pac, is maintain, do cyclical maintenance. So to me, if you have dirt and you want pebbles, pebbles is an upgrade, right?
Well, we've already paid for pebbles, but they have to be replenished every so often.
Well,
Gravel.
that is maintenance.
That's
Just wanna
maintenance.
make
Well, and
There you go.
Yes, the only other thing that I can think of is some of the businesses that have blank walls, which are a nice target. I've seen, the place I can think of right now is Pasadena and in Beverly Hills, and then on here in Long Beach on Orange Avenue, just north of South Street, on the west side of the street, there's a building there that has an ivy growing on the wall, and it just looks so rich and fresh, and it's a verdant green, and if we could do that on some of the sides of our buildings and make it look really pretty, I think that would be quite beneficial to solve a lot of problems as well. It's my understanding all they do is take out a little strip of the sidewalk and put the plant in next to the building and let it grow.
Oh, it's like buildings that are right up to the sidewalk. Those
Yes.
are a problem.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of how we were built in the 20s, is
Yes.
the buildings right up to the sidewalks.
Yes, and it's really quite lovely seeing the green instead of just a big blank wall.
Well, I know that we were going to undertake like a systematic effort to identify blaring blank walls in commercial districts and put up historic kinds of murals or artistic kinds of murals. So that's in the process, and actually Thor is on the art committee for redevelopment.
I'm on vacation today.
Oh, are you? Okay, you're not working?
I'm kidding.
I thought a volunteer's work was never done. Did you have anything you wanted to say, or that was probably enough?
We look at those things as they come before us. You know, if you have specific ideas, we'd love to hear about them at our arts committee meetings. You know, suggestions of where and even ideas of what you think might be good. And then we certainly talk about it and make recommendations based on that.
Okay, anything else? Yes.
How about the meridians on Cherry Avenue between Delamo and South?
That comes up so often.
Normal in our
But
t-shirts.
it never gets fixed.
There's a problem with that, and it has to do with something underground there. Is it utilities that are underground? Linda, you
Pipe or
probably,
something.
pipelines.
Big pipeline.
But
So,
there's got to be something that could be done to improve it.
But can't Shell